Yuri Foreman was born in Belarus, formerly in the Soviet Union, moved to Israel where he took up boxing, now fighting out of Brooklyn, New York. 80 amateur bouts, 5-0, 3 knockouts. So Foreman, Beeson's gym in New York. Prospect. We'll see how he does against Almanzar in this 4-round bout.
Foreman's supposed to be a real good prospect. Good amateur. Both these young men have been good amateurs. Foreman should be the stronger man here. He's bigger. Turned pro, 154 pounds, never under 150 pounds. That is, until tonight, coming in the lowest of his career, 149. On the other side, Almanzar, smaller man, turned pro, 145 pounds, never over 147 pounds. That is, until tonight. Heaviest of his career, 148.25.
Back in March, Foreman in his second pro bout beat Massachusetts trial horse Tommy Artato, knocked him out in the 3rd round. His last fight was against Michael Corleone, who appears on just about everybody's line by line. We'll see how Foreman does against Almanzar, as Teddy mentioned, who has good amateur experience. It was interesting listening to Nigel Collins, Brian and Max back in the studio, Ring Magazine, talking about the Ring Magazine champions. One of the most sane things I've heard in a long time about the World Championships. One world, there should be one world champion.
That's what it implies, isn't it? It shouldn't be such a difficult thing to understand.
And maybe if the Ring Magazine champions catches on like it should, and people in boxing get behind that, they can put those bogus sanctioning bodies out of business.
That would be nice. Get a national commission in there. Do that. Put those sanctioning bodies out of business. Take that money that they take and they steal and use that to run the commission. Use that to set up a pension for certain fighters that have been in the business a certain amount of years. And as far as the ratings, let regional fight writers, boxing writers, do the ratings. They see the fighters. Right now, Foreman showing you what his style is.
Flash of heads there.
Foreman likes to box, use his legs, pick spots, go in and out. So far tonight, he's been going mostly out.
Foreman's cut on the right eyebrow. So we'll see how Foreman deals with some adversity here. That was from an accidental clash of heads.
Foreman, a very specific style. Likes to use those legs. Always set to counter. Always set to pick his spots. Always think in and out. Looking to counter when he can, too. Trying to get Almanzar to walk into something.
First to 4 in the books. Foreman cut. Teddy.
Yes, good men there. These men and women have worked at Ground Zero day and night to ensure that New York City is able to receive full reimbursement of funds associated with the debris removal from the federal government and to prevent any fraud at Ground Zero. Also at that table, Joe Spinelli, former New York State Inspector General, former FBI agent, the first man in boxing to investigate Don King about 20 years ago. A man who I would vote, if we ever get that national commission, I would vote to have him as the czar, the head of that federal commission. When he investigated King, he learned about boxing. He found out what goes on in this sport. And he's a man of integrity.
Yuri Foreman and Jose Luis Almanzar. Round number 2 scheduled for 4. Foreman in the first round had the edge with the punches for the vacant NABF flyweight crown. Earlier tonight, Jeffrey Resto, unanimous decision win against Emmanuel Clody, and a good step up for Resto.
Almanzar would seem to have the perfect style for Foreman. Coming forward, reaching in. Foreman likes to counterpunch. Foreman getting plenty of opportunities to do that. Almanzar is always where you can find him, in front of you. And when he comes in, as I just said, does not negotiate distance real well. does not work his way in and take his feet with him. His hands, his punches get ahead of the rest of his body. Leaves himself open. Look for Foreman to do some good scoring before this fight is over, as Almanzar tries to get forward.
Right hand from Foreman.
Well, Foreman likes to pick spots. He's always ready to punch. Likes to pick spots, looks for clean spots. Doesn't like to waste too much. That is not his style. Only kink in the arm of Foreman. Early on, he was going straight back. While he was going straight back, Almanzar was going straight forward, having a little success.
Good second round, though, for Yuri Foreman. Fighting out of Brooklyn, New York, by way of Israel, by way of Belarus.
And a young Foreman, 22-year-old Foreman, 5-0, having to deal with a little controversy. First cut ever.
The NABF and the USBA are respected, long-standing regional titles. That's where guys step up, introduced in the 12-round bouts. Legit regional belts. Well, Foreman and Almanzar rolling away here in round number 4. Foreman has the edge, 49-14 in power punches in the fight. Foreman had to do a little cut along the right eye in round 1, accidental clash of heads.
Sometimes Foreman a little anxious to get the job done offensively, comes forward, when I believe if he would just hold his ground, maybe feint like that, he will get Almanzar to do his work for him and walk into some good, clean combinations. When Foreman comes forward, sometimes he's a little over-anxious, sometimes a little sloppy, smothers himself. Now he's setting his feet. Now he's getting his punches off when he's ready, right there, at the right distance, at the right time, and he gets the right results.
Foreman celebrated his 22nd birthday 25 days ago.
Speaking of birthdays, we have a couple famous ones. Today's birthday, I believe, is the great trainer, Angelo Dundee, and also the great late trainer, Ray Arcel. Give Almanzar credit, Bob. He's got plenty of heart. He might be lacking in the skill and the technique department when it comes to the matchup with Foreman, but not lacking in the trying, in the heart department. Once again, when Almanzar comes forward, it's not with a jab. It's with wide punches like that. And like that, right-hand counters can score by Foreman. That is his specialty.
Not a bad 6th pro fight, though, for Foreman. Oh, got a guy in front of you that had an extensive amateur background in the Dominican Republic. Now that cut on the right eye of Foreman. Looks like there's another one. This one is more on the forehead. So he's got one on the right eyebrow, one on the forehead. This is the final round. Foreman doesn't appear to be having any problem seeing. And at least according to Teddy and I, he's comfortably ahead.
Almanzar, as you said, an opponent with some amateur background and with a good chin. He's taken some good punches tonight from Foreman.
Almanzar cut on his right eye. The bad news for Foreman here is that this is going to keep him out of action for probably a little longer than he would like. This is his 6th bout in his inaugural year as a pro.
Exactly. When you're young, when you're coming up the boxing ladder, you want to keep busy. Cuts do not allow you to do that.
He's got 2 of them. But with all that said, Yuri Foreman able to use his skill. He won in the entire fight. Teddy Atlas's scorecard reads as follows: 40-36. I had it the same way. Judges' card, Christine Stone.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 4 rounds of action here at Cipriani's 42nd Street, we go to the scorecards. Judge at ringside, Tom Kazmarek, scores the bout 40-35. Judges, Melvina Lathan and Tony Paolillo, both have it 40-36 for your winner by unanimous decision, Yuri Foreman.
Foreman picks picks up win number 6. Brian Valoria still to come in our main event for the vacant NABF flyweight crown. But first, we send it back to Brian and Max.